I refuse to solely rely on a job.
Get the biggest Chanel back in the store if you want it. I gave them the drip, they sucked it up, I got them on it. I bought a new bed, I had the one, so I two-toned them. Taking the drugs,
I know what some people gonna say. Some people gonna say, but just hear me out. So I have been self-employed from 2019 to full-time, like, honestly, the beginning of this year, but without any type of like type of W-2 job, I'll say for like 4 years. So 2019, 2021, 2, and 3. Yeah, 23. 4.5 years, I say. And although it was a hustle behind it, it was a lot of grind, it was a lot that I had to do to be able to maintain. I was fine. Like I knew what I needed to do, had my numbers, and I did it. I made it happen. However, I realized when it comes down to these jobs these days, it's not really no security for real. Like I worked at Amazon 2 times within the last couple of years. Yeah, 2 times within the last couple of years. And one time it was cool, but again, it was only seasonal. Both of them was only seasonal, actually. One of them I actually did like because the Amazon that I was at, I was literally only printing t-shirts. It wasn't even like no heavy packages, none of that. So I was cool with it. Like I would have been willing to stay if that was a pick me, but they only picked 5 people out of like 200. So, hey, I can't control that. And then I ended up working at Quick Trip. Don't know if I ever publicly said that, but I wasn't really making no money there, and I don't consider that a full-time, because even when I was working 40 hours, my check still was not a full-time income to me for a 32-year-old or a 31-year-old in this time of day. Like, it didn't, even 40 hours a week, that might have paid my rent, and that's for the whole month. That's 40 hours a month, and yeah, so it wasn't really worth it. And my rent is only like $1,500. So if I worked a whole full 40 hours, my check was maybe like $440 after taxes. Oh, exactly. So I had to make sure that, I only worked in the morning time. So I was out delivering right after work to even make ends meet. And I kind of got drained from that. It was a lot behind that. And then they got to the point where it was like, well, we cutting hours. And if you can't work at night, or if you can't work these certain hours, then you might not get enough hours, such and such, which I know that it wasn't going to work for me, which I was ended up quitting anyway when I got the job that I currently have now. I've been working since April. I do like the job. However, I do not feel any type of job stability. And the reason I say this is because, for one, they can make changes at any time. I've had about 5 different schedules since April already, and we're only in August. That's one thing. And number 2, without saying too much, there's a bunch of different departments, and they can move you back and forth if they want to. And one of the departments that I almost got moved back to, they're cutting hours like crazy. Like sometimes you might wake up and you might not even have any hours on schedule for one of your scheduled days. And who's to say I might not eventually get moved back there? So it's like, okay, sit here and, still work this, find another job, and potentially have to go through the same thing, or just focus on what it is that you need to be doing now. And I choose to just keep the job, focus on what it is I need to be doing now. So that way, even if hours are cut, whatever, I'm still cool. I'm still straight without the job, without delivering, because I'm kind of over delivery hours because it's not what it is. And then I'm kind of limited on when I can work and things like that also, because I have a full-time schedule. So yeah, I told myself I have to show up for myself more. I don't feel job security with a job. I don't. I felt more secure when I was working on my own terms full time. And like I have anxiety almost every day when it's like, okay, I gotta hit these metrics, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Granted, I have that for myself too when it comes down to the things that I'm doing in my business, me being self-employed, things I got going on. But it's another thing when the majority of what I got going on reliant on this job that might decide, hey, let's cut your hours in half next week. And there's nothing I can do about it. Like, granted, I always figure things out, but I also like to be proactive and not have to figure it out after it happens. So if I know that it's a possibility, I already have, okay, I'm going to do this if this happens. I'm going to, just like insurance, how you don't expect to have any car accidents, but just in case something does happen, you'll be prepared, because realistically, who, can just replace, it's expensive if anything happens, right? So I try to look at life like that. Like, if this does happen, this is what I'm going to do. So that's the point that I'm at right now with my journey. Making sure that I'm staying super focused with my content. I have to, because at the end of the day, I'm the one that has to take care of me. I don't know how these jobs operate. And again, like I said, I could always try to find another job. Who's to say that there's any job security there also? So it's like going around from job to job. And then when you try to get another job, and you have so many jobs on your job history, they're wondering like, okay, why are you running around from job to job? Well, I was told in an interview that there was job security. And I'm starting to feel like there's little to none. So yeah, ultimately I just gotta do what's the best for me when it comes down to it. But yeah, I don't really feel secure with the job. And then a lot of these jobs have been doing so many layoffs. Like, people have been working for these companies for years, 10 years, 15 years, and they'll wake up the next morning and get an email letting you know, like, hey, you don't have no job no more. Or some of them were nice enough to give them a severance. Is that what you call it? They give you a check until you find another job or whatever. That was nice enough to get them that. But it's not the case for all jobs. And I have so many gifts, so many things that I'm good at, that I need to continue to utilize so I can reach my full potential, do the best that I can in life with everything that I'm trying to do. But that is why I feel like that I don't really care. I'm not gonna say I don't care for jobs, but I don't like the traditional jobs, because I don't feel that there's anything. I don't feel there's a such thing as job security. I don't care what field that you're in. Medical field, law enforcement, I do not feel that there's a such thing as job security, because these jobs can do as they please whenever they please. So I just don't. So I was like, have a backup plan. I always tell people to save as much as you can. It could be small, but the little stuff adds up. Like, no lie. So start wherever you are. You don't have to save $200-300 a check or whatever, however often you get paid. Just start wherever you can. There's somewhere where you can save something. So again, thank y'all so much for tuning into this video. Let me know in the comments, how do you feel about jobs? How do you feel about job security, things like that? And I'll reply back to y'all in the comments. But make sure y'all follow me on all social media, The Keisha Shante, Your Fave Pescatarian. And thank y'all again for tuning in.